Usually I try to, sit on a bit of a fence, as they say, with this cast, where it's like, I'll have a little satire here and there. I'll go a little left, I'll go a little right, but I kind of don't make too many declarative, definitive opinions. I'm gonna take one. I'm gonna make one right here. Macadamia nut cookies, dude. Pretty fucking good.
I thought you said the whole left or right thing. I thought you were going to reveal some political views. I was like, that's good. There's a lot of things I want to say that are politically leaning right now.
Oh. First, you must gain power. Then, when you have power, that's when you get into the political system and abuse it that way. You first have the power first,
And how do
Macadamia nut cookies so good though. It's like, do you really want to even get into politics? I just open up a bakery shop and get cookies all the time.
I thought you were going to say that's the key to getting the power, is first acknowledging how good the macadamia nut cookie is.
No, but to be fair, listen, all these presidents want to spend billions and billions of dollars on ad campaigns, right? How about you spend, millions and millions of dollars paying some, high-quality bakers? They're always talking about, opening up jobs, and this new program's going to create so many jobs, right?
Yeah.
Those are shitty jobs no one wants to do, right?
That's true.
Who doesn't want to be a baker, huh?
I don't want to be a baker, but I would love it if there was a bakery, down the block.
Think about this, though. Wouldn't you vote for the president who, at all... What sounds more fun? Going to fucking, you can go to Donald Trump's political rally, you can go to Hillary Clinton's political rally, or you can go to the other guy's rally, where just for showing up you get fucking fresh cookies baked.
Going to the
You're
other guy's
okay,
rally.
well, this guy's he's at least doing things. Politics always, they always talk. This guy's doing something. He's giving us cookies.
What sucks when you go out to eat? When you go to a restaurant, what's the worst thing that can happen when you go to a restaurant? It's related to what you're saying, so I'm going to cut you off because I'm going to forget my point anyways. Getting stuck being told it's an hour wait and you stand there, there's nothing to do. When you go to Red Robin, though, they give you a plate of fucking fries and say sorry for the trouble.
Sorry that you
I'd rather get stuck at Red Robin's. I'd rather go to that guy's fucking rally and get a goddamn cookie.
You said Red Robin's, right?
Yeah.
Now, there was one time I was at Red Robin with these two idiots, right? These two friends, I guess. And
or idiots.
I said Red Robin's. I said, I'm at Red Robin's. I think I was on the phone. I said to someone, they're like, "Did you see you're at Red Robin's? It's Red Robin."
Fuck you.
And then I was like, "Pick a name. Give me a male name. Give me."
Oh,
yeah. Give me a male name,
you said
Robbie.
I was like, I thought this is what you said to this person. My name, Robbie.
No. That's confusing for the listener.
Alex.
That's more confusing for the listener.
I'm Steven.
Fine. All right. Can it just be Steve's? Because Stevens is really...
Let's go John.
John's perfect. That's a way better choice. Thank you, okay?
You want Jonathan?
No.
Okay.
That would defeat the purpose yet again.
Sorry.
So, why are you saying you're going to Red Robin's? You're going to Red Robin. And I was like, yeah, it's Red Robin, but, I wouldn't say I'm going to John House.
Such a good point.
I'd say I'm going to John's house. So even if this is technically Red Robin, I feel like it still sounds more natural to say I'm going to Red Robin's or I'm at Red Robin's as opposed to saying I'm at Red Robin. And also...
It's a little dumb it's called Red Robin.
I get because there's a singular Robin, but it's like there's multiple locations.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. It's not called McDonald.
Exactly.
It's not called Wendy.
You say I'm going to McDonald's even if you mean one individual McDonald's.
Exactly. You don't say I'm going to Wendy.
Exactly.
It makes no fucking sense.
I'm going to Five Guy?
What does that mean? Exactly.
I'm going
Five Guys is the one that gets it.
Exactly. You have to have S's on certain things for it to sound normal. But, I'm just saying, if you had first off, that really is annoying though. The waiting for tables thing. It's like, I don't, maybe we should take a step in the next direction where we only have booked restaurants. No just walk-ins anymore. Because, listen, food's pretty important, isn't it?
You could argue that.
Maybe we should put a little more effort into making this stuff, where it's just seamless, where it's like, everyone's getting served, or just more cooked baked goods again. Maybe it's more baked goods, less lines outside, you less hunger all the time, you have more baked goods.
That's a great idea, but, also, say I wanted to go anywhere right now. I'd have to call every place I'm thinking of going to see if there's even a table. That's fucking stupid.
What if it's just, a social credit system, where things you do from, I don't know, how well you do in school, what your credit score is on your house, if you pay your bills, if you have late fees or anything, all that kind of stuff, right? What political parties you root for. What if we have a social credit system where each citizen has a credit score related to them, and they just get better and worse services depending on their credit score, That could be a thing.
So that's a step in the right direction. That's better than your first. That's way better than your first idea.
Yeah, that sounds like something that could be a popular thing that a country could try to weaponize eventually at some point in time. I don't know.
You think so?
I think it could be.
We're talking about politics briefly. I'm not going to get into anything specifically political related, but I'm not as strong as you.
Okay.
So I once again downloaded another dating app.
You fool.
There's nothing I hate more. Actually, no. There's one thing I hate more than this. This is my second most hated thing I've seen on a dating app. When the profile says either conservatives need not apply or liberals need not apply, your fucking political opinion should be nothing. It should literally be so.
I know. Obviously, no. Because you're gonna. I'll let you spiral, but you need to check some balances when you spiral. Okay.
I wasn't spiraling yet.
I know.
I was about to. I didn't start.
Okay, so I was gonna say, yeah. Obviously, that comes down to like, when you're getting married and having kids, you'd be like, yeah, it's probably a little bit important for us to agree on some fundamental things here.
Exactly, but it doesn't count when you're on a fucking
You're on a dating app, dude.
You're swiping based on how you
that's
look.
The problem. We always mention it. It's like, get to know people as people.
Exactly.
And stop thinking that
guess what?
political opinion is the only thing in the world that matters.
To get along and love each other.
You don't. It's not even that. It's like you just have a conversation. That's actually the real problem, is that everyone on a fucking... There's just everyone on dating apps is either 100% in the mindset of like fall in love and find a soulmate, which is wrong.
It's a dating app.
Or they're in the mindset of, I don't know, it's 8 o'clock, let's have a train, It's pretty much it.
Which is okay because it's a dating app.
True, but maybe there should be some sort of, maybe we should have, it's always just, this is the problem with humanity. It's always the peaks and the valleys, okay? Mm-hmm. They're fucking extreme.
Yeah.
But no, you need to just, talk to people a little bit and not, like you said, not have it where it's like, all right, so if you disagree with me on this one part of my life, I don't want to hear anything about you. It's like, that's not how society works or how communication works or anything.
And it annoys me too, because anybody who puts that in their bio, listen.
And also, it's one way or the other.
What?
One way or the other.
What do you mean?
It's annoying on both sides of the aisle.
That's how I start off the conversation.
It's so goddamn annoying.
If you put anything politically...
And also, even if you see the person and you're thinking like, well, even if I see a person who I'm like, I agree with that person's political views that they've just so publicly stated, I still think that person's a douche.
I know.
Bye-bye.
It's annoying. Fucking... Fuck, let me lose my train of thought.
Remember on one of the apps that has it where you actually put in, where it says you put your religion, your political, all that, on that stuff? Mm. I remember on one of those a while ago, some girl liked my profile. I think it was Bumble, because girls message first over, right?
Yeah.
And she messaged me literally saying like, so nice that you have a full profile. The only thing you didn't include though was your political views. So what are those? That's your opening line?
Yeah, I had one person go...
That's your opener?
I'm not going to say my political views are, but the person said, oh, you're one of those? Nice. Maybe we can work on that. That was the opening line.
Like, dude... Nah, I'm not going to say that.
Fucking chill out. Anybody who puts their political opinion there, like that kind of way where it's like, if you're this, don't apply, this, don't apply. Yeah. They have no fucking idea what they're talking about politically related.
Also, yeah, they're just... So I said the other day about how...
None of us should be talking about politics because none of us know what the fuck we're talking about. You know who might have a little grasp about politics? Politicians, and they barely have a grasp on it.
You're heated today, man.
Dude, it pisses me off when people fucking have to have an opinion about things they have no business having an opinion on.
Just to clarify, just how right I was, so you're telling me that usually you're pretty mild-mannered, Robbie, and then after you go against my divine wisdom of saying, stay off of the apps... You go on the apps, now you're just suddenly an angry person.
No, I was pissed about a slew of things. This leads in
so great to what I want to talk about, which is Ted Kaczynski.
I have no idea who that is. It sounds really familiar.
You're kidding me. You don't know who Ted Kaczynski is?
I don't know now. Who is it? Because it sounds really familiar.
Yeah, let's get 3 guesses first. I'm genuine. I didn't think when I started the conversation off about Ted Kaczynski that I would get who's that. I thought we would just have a baseline for conversation and start talking from there. So this is taking me back a little bit.
Well, I guess based on where I was conversationally speaking, he's probably someone politically related.
There's merit to that.
You say there's merit to that. Does that mean
I would never say, hey, who's Ted Kaczynski? Who's that political guy? But I mean, there is lines to be made politically, socioeconomically.
Okay, wow, you're really clearing up so I can guess who this person is.
Well, it wasn't a good starting point. I'm just shocked right now.
I don't know. Is he a serial killer?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so yeah, sure. He's kind of
serial
politically
killer. I think of someone walking around with a knife, stabbing people. Yeah, he killed people. I guess it's a serial terrorist.
Which is? Is he a political person? Or is he killed people? It's a shirt of both.
Serial terrorist.
Serial terror. How are you? What? Doesn't terrorist by definition make you serial?
The Unabomber.
Oh, I didn't know what his name was.
That's crazy. Obviously, did.
I guess I did because I recognized it, but yeah.
Wow. So Ted, I mean, I guess he's a serial killer, but it's like that doesn't sound right. Sending bombs.
Yeah, you're right. That
doesn't sound like you're a serial killer.
Serial terrorist an actual term?
I don't know.
Because isn't terrorist kind of imply the serial part?
No. You can be a one-hit wonder terrorist. That happens all the time.
Yeah, I know, but like the whole idea of terrorism is to continuously
that's the really crazy part. Most criminals
terrorism.
are one-hit wonders.
Yeah.
And all the greats you don't even to know about. It's not like bands where the great bands survive. You get to know the truly good criminals. We don't know shit about them.
It's true.
Ted Kaczynski was on the FBI watch list from like 1977 to like 1995. It's like 20 years of government fucking money going to finance someone you got dick. The only reason he even got turned in was because his fucking brother's a rat.
Oh, really?
And you're thinking like he did a good thing. It's like, yeah, morally he did a good thing, but
I'll tell you right now,
familially,
I tell you right now,
did a horrible thing.
I don't care if
dude.
I'm not going to tell you when you did
it. Dude, way too far.
Really?
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. I thought we were on that whole like edgy kind of comedy thing we were doing.
We can't talk about Ted Kaczynski, who actually went insane and did shit, and then now start throwing around words like that. Now, YouTube's going to fucking just take down our entire channel. What's the timestamp?
I'm sorry.
11 minutes, you fucking lunatic. I guess we talk about fucking acts of, terrorism. You're like, I better. Jesus Christ, you're one to be swayed.
Oh my God. All I was saying is I'm not going to turn you in.
Jesus Christ.
That was the point of the story. I'm not turning you in.
This is admissible, man.
How about we go with the nice part? Why are you focusing on the negative?
Jeez Louise.
Alex, you got a friend in me.
Dude.
I'm here by your side.
You need to stop talking. Let me get back on track here, okay? Fucking hell, dude. These apps fuck you up. Which is what goes into the Kaczynski thing, and the whole entire point is I'm trying to get through. So first, if Ted Kaczynski only gets turned in after 20, they have no leads. He starts just putting fake initials of FC on his bombs. So they're like, I guess we're looking for some guy named FC, and that works for 20 years because why do they think why do they see FC and think no? I'm thinking it's more of a TK. They're just like, I guess it's FC. That works somehow for 20 years.
I'm sorry. How would they look at it and think it's TK?
They wouldn't.
Oh.
He just started initialing things FC, so they're like, obviously it's FC. This could not quite possibly be a fake name.
Because we said it in that tone, I thought you were making fun of them, not realizing.
No,
I got
it's
you
just sad that worked.
Yeah.
After 20 years looking for the guy, who's this Franklin Charles
It should have worked for 6 months, not 20 years.
And it's like, and then they're like, well, his bomb pieces, he's getting shrapnel and just local things you can find at any store in America. It's like, all right, there's got to be more to do here than just that. It can't be, we don't know his initials and the pieces come from anywhere. It's like, is there nothing else you can think of to track this guy down? Those are the two leads you had for 20 years. And the way he gets turned in was because he ends up he sends a bomb to the New York Times or something and is like, you're going to publish my manifesto or I'm going to fucking kill everyone. And then the New York Times is like, all right, fine. They don't want to play. They're like, we'll take his word for it. They publish it. And his brother's reading it in the New York Times and he's like, this looks just like Ted's writing. And he brings in like 40 essays to the CIA, and they do an expert of some guy.
Dude,
like,
Ted's brother's a dick.
That's my point. Familial values.
Look, if you ever send in your manuscript to the New York Times,
Robbie,
I'm not going to turn you in.
Okay, I'm glad we're drawing the line there. Okay,
you can send any manuscript you want to the New York Times. I won't say anything about it.
Fucking, yeah, that's crazy.
What did he do? Because I don't really know anything about him other than the term. Yeah, I know, but like, so what? He planted bombs in just random parts of towns. He went across the country.
No, super smart guy, like incredibly intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And first thing that happened apparently was when he was a kid, he was like taken away from his family for like an extended amount of time to be put into quarantine for some like medical reason. But for like. I saw the thing I watched today, the book I read today, said about, it was only like, he was gone for like, I think they said like, it was like 2 weeks and that was the thing. Was like, what I saw read the other day, was that it was like upwards of 10 months of a infant being in like, or a toddler, I don't know, it means like 4 or 3, being in isolation for like 10 months with no communication.
Why?
Because of some sickness that happened or whatever. And that was the way it was handled for whatever reason.
That doesn't sound accurate to anything at all.
This is 1949. Or 1952. Okay?
Fine. I'll give a little slack, I guess.
It's some terrible, terrible thing. So apparently that happens first. Then down the line, he's super smart again, but he's very socially awkward, and he's so smart.
Did anything to do with that year he
might have
not with anyone?
So he keeps getting bumped up grade to grade to grade, which is making him more socially awkward because now the kids are getting older. He fits in even less. He stands out more. He's more smart than everyone.
He continuously got bumped up?
Yeah, it was like 1 year, and then the next year, as he was in the next grade, like, no, you're too smart. You jumped up 2 grades after that. He went to college at 16. He went to Harvard at 16.
That's gotta make anyone feel fucking weird.
Yeah, so there was just all that stuff being added up, and he went to Harvard at 16, and he was apparently for the youths at Harvard, they had these. They weren't like lived on. I guess it sounded like they didn't live on at dorms. They had like these house, almost like it sounds like a halfway house essentially, where like they were all like had to live there with like a person who was like I guess appointed by the state or whatever who could like watch after them. So their lives pretty much just entailed of only going to their room and then going to class and then going back to their room and spending their entire room in their private room, which is like worse than a dorm, like this little tiny room.
Private. They didn't have like a roommate or anything.
No, just a one room per person. So more isolationism and everything else.
Well, that's what they say. The less you interact, the better.
Yeah,
because we're not a species that relies on interaction.
Social interaction, no. So then he goes there, and again, he's super smart. He's amazing in all of his classes, and he finally gets he finally feels better being there because then I guess everyone's as smart as him a little bit. So he has a little bit of time of being okay, and he decides he's going to go into he's going to make enough money to then he's going to live in this lifestyle to make money to then go do his next plan. So he gets after Harvard, he goes to be a teacher. He's becomes the youngest professor of math ever to teach at Berkeley.
And at this point, is he showing any signs of anything?
Before this, apparently when he was in college, he was involved in these trials that were essentially. It's not necessarily. I mean, I'm pretty positive it's MK Ultra, but this book I read kept saying how it's not necessarily MK Ultra, but the one doctor it was involved in MK Ultra. Yeah, but didn't that
show on Netflix, Wormhole, or whatever, try to tie the Unabomber to MK Ultra or some shit?
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm pretty sure there's other things that I've read that say that he is.
Yeah. Well, you just actually said you were watching it on Netflix, so you're actually stupid, and I'm smart because I read things and you just watch things.
I think you misheard.
So he goes through these trials, which are MK Ultra. Pretty positive, but this thing was saying they weren't MK Ultra, but it was like a doctor who certainly did work on MK Ultra, and they're doing all these trials, which involves essentially taking all these drugs and having these people who one of the things they talked about was how that he was instructed to write a fucking essay about what he wanted to do, his aspirations, and he was under the impression that everyone doing the trial, 50 other students would be doing this. And that they would all then talk about their aspirations, and the test was the study or trial was to see common goals between adolescents or something. Whatever, I don't remember what the thing was. But it was a complete false understanding what the premise was. And in actuality, he was then drugged and tied to a bed, and his words were turned against him, and they read stuff to him saying why do you want to do this? What does this mean? Blah 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 blah.
God.
And broke and all these crazy trials and tribulations and shit. So then he goes to Berkeley, teaches for 2 years, becomes the youngest professor ever to be hired, or whatever. Head of mathematics, does it for 2 years, makes bank, then goes out into the woods, lives off the grid, doesn't have electricity, doesn't have running water.
And we weren't looking at it more isolationism.
And isolationism. Well, this apparently he said this is the weird part of it. 'Cause now the first half of the story sounds like isolation is the problem, and it greatly is. But then he keeps preaching about isolationism because the book guy was reading was talking about how it was Ted Kaczynski predicted the future or whatever, and it was saying how his entire thing, he was writing his manifesto, and he was all of his philosophies and everything he did was all talking about how society is bad and psychiatry is bad, and how when you have a problem, he's the proof of a problem is that you have an issue with how the world works, and then the world you have unhappiness with your situation and what the world's doing, and then the world gives you a drug to take away your unhappiness, not to fix the problem you're going through. So that's what he was saying, the issues with psychiatry and everything else. And he's but the thing he's saying though is that he's basically talking about the social media in the future, saying how everyone's gonna become addicted to these things, and it's taking us further away from community, it's taking us further away from individual self, and it's making us all more compliant and follow along. We all have these jobs and this social structure and everything else, and it's ruining humanity. And he's saying how we're becoming numb to boredom, basically, because we're getting too much of a stimulus. And he's saying you're supposed to be bored, and all these things you're supposed to feel irritable and everything else are all being just suppressed down. So there's nothing going on. It's just you're going through the motions and everything, and saying we're not a part of nature. We have too many things we're supposed to think on a more level of just get water, get food, have shelter, and blah 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 blah.
I mean, the way you're presenting this guy sounds kind of on the right path.
Well, there's a reason why
he did everything.
I was gonna say, the whole time I'm reading this book, I'm thinking about what a great movie this would be. And as I'm cat's out of that bag, I was watching a video, because now this next part of the story I can't say it's a book anymore. So I was watching this video.
You looked up a video after you read the book.
No, I'll be honest here. So I'm watching this video, and the entire video is a guy talking, but his voice is overlaid a footage of a movie called I think Ted K, which is like not the title I would have gone with for a movie about Ted Kaczynski. Ever?
I would have called it Ted. And they would have made a sequel called the Ted 2.
Yeah, and I would have cast Amanda Seyfried in it. Yeah. And I would have Mila Kunis in the first one.
Yep.
This is my opinion, my idea. I don't know. It could be cool. But no, it's Charlton Copley or Copley. I don't even know that's how you pronounce his name. The guy who played Murdoch in the A-Team. That guy, I like that guy actually. He's playing Kaczynski, and I kept thinking like, damn, this should be a movie. And every like 5 seconds, I'd be like, oh, we could do this, do this, do this. And I'm like, fuck, it's literally a movie. It's on right now. I'm seeing it.
What was it that bad?
No, it probably looked fine. Honestly, he looked like he was good in it, but it looked like it was directed.
Which A-Team? The original, or the one that's in the fucking dumb movie that came out?
The movie came out in 2021.
The A-Team didn't come out in 2021.
The Ted K movie came out in 2021.
Yeah, you said the guy playing him from the A-Team, Murdoch.
Yes. So you think
from
it was
the
the
dumb
guy
movie with fucking?
So do you think that the guy playing Ted Kaczynski in 2021 was from the 2010 movie or from the 1970 show?
Probably in the 2010 movie.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's more likely that he was that it's the actor from the 70s who was already 40 in that show?
Look,
or do you think it's the guy who was playing in a 2000?
You didn't say this Ted Kaczynski movie, Ted K, came out in 2021
no, but then when
until
I did
just
say
now.
You then said, yeah, but which one is it? Which guy is it? The original one? You should have said, oh, obviously it's the guy from the 2010 remake.
Oh, obviously it's the guy from the 2010 remake.
And also, when I said his name, and you were like, yeah, I thought you knew who I was talking about. The guy who was in Chappie.
Yeah, when you said Murdoch, I knew you were talking about.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if you meant that guy or the original one. I don't know. You're right, because I'm fucking stupid. You have to point out how dumb I am all the time?
Yeah, because you were trying to make me look dumb. You were like, obviously you should have specified. You're such a fucking son of a bitch, man.
God, you know what, dude? Fuck you. That's all I have to say.
All right. I felt like there was more that was actually being polite. Sorry. But I don't know. The Kaczynski thing was interesting. And yeah, I don't know. It was funny because I saw that, and it's right after I saw a clip suggested to me of Tom Cruise also saying how psychiatry wasn't good for the exact same reason of Ted Kaczynski actually saying how he didn't say it with the eloquence of there's unhappiness and then you give some take away the unhappiness, not take away the problem. He was just saying like there's better ways to do it. Positivity, yeah, and everything else. He's just more upbeat about it.
See, I think the issue with psychiatry, like in my example, I really only interact with you guys.
The real issue of psychiatry is fucking look how Hollywood's weaponized it, right? Look at fucking the Santa Claus, a movie for kids to consume where they're taught to think psychiatry is evil, Look how that movie paints the guy who's just trying to help out the entire time. It's a serious problem.
That's true. I guess he really is just trying to help out the entire time.
Dude, they have it where fucking Neil's right, like the villain of that movie. And
I always viewed him as such. You're right, though.
Guys, they cast Judge Reinhold. It's clearly not the villainous role. It's Judge Reinhold.
I think Judge Reinhold is sorely underrated.
I agree, man. Fucking Fast Times.
But I hated him for the longest time. I don't know why.
The
Santa Claus
Beverly
taught
Hills
me to hate
Cop.
him.
Fucking Mock Trial with Judge Reinhold.
That was a good show.
Mock Trial with Judge Reinhold.
It should have lasted longer, honestly.
Yeah. Judge Judy's still going on. That old man judge I always see shorts of where he's like 9,000 years old, but somehow they have people come in there who are even older than him, so he has to call them sir, and it's this weird back and forth.
Gary
that makes
Busey had a
Am I in the middle of a
show?
sentence?
Yeah, no, I stopped listening.
Yeah, I could fucking tell. Because you had a little light. You're like, oh, I have a funny thing to say. I can add this here.
I just wanted to cut you off because I didn't care anymore.
And then you just check out whatever everyone else is saying. You're like, all right, once I feel like talking, I'll just talk.
God, I know, because you've never done that ever. That's never occurred when I go to speak. You just cut me off. Doesn't matter if I'm in the middle of a sentence. Doesn't matter when I go, no. The entire time you're talking, you just keep talking. That's never happened once in the history of us ever having a conversation ever. I'm so sorry that you didn't get my undivided 100% attention the entire time you were talking for that split second. I'm very, very sorry. I'm ashamed it happened. I'm ashamed. Not only am I ashamed that it happened, I'm ashamed you caught me. And it happened. That's really the worst part. Not only is it bad if I had to deal with the shame that went with it happening.
Oh, there's the first stumble. There was such a streak for a second.
Fuck you.
You were on a roll. That was like a solid 30 seconds. That was like a nice little fucking.
So good for a second.
You know when fucking you see a boxer start just like literally just throwing off every punch, just back dodging and weaving on everything. Yeah. That was everything. And then you clipped yourself. You lost your footing for a second, and you tried to recover, but it wasn't.
Dude, boxing's laborious. I got tired. I'm sorry. I couldn't keep throwing the punches.
And then you say things like, boxing's laborious. Dude, I got tired. Hey,
Anyways,
Merriam-Webster, cut out the $10 words, okay?
What is that?
Hey, Merriam-Webster's, okay?
Fuck you.
Cut it out the big words, smart guy.
I have to throw in some $10 words occasionally because I really sound like a moron on this show 90% of the time.
Yeah,
I need to have a couple little splits in there. Laborious?
Is what you said?
That's a good word. Laborious is a good word. It's labor-inducing or something stupid like that. I at least know the proper... I think it's an adverb at that point. I'm not entirely sure. I know the proper...
Dude, fuck... whatever those things are called.
I don't know what the... Yeah, adverbs, adjectives, pronouns.
Nouns. Yeah.
Nouns.
Pronouns are not one of those things, I don't think.
Aren't they?
I don't know if that counts in the same category as adjective and adverb and verb.
Well, I guess adverb would be... No. It
you ever see that meme of Bowser?
Because there's nouns and there's pronouns. There's
you ever
verbs
see that picture
and
of Bowser where it says... it's like enough about the pronouns. Where are the anti-nouns? And it just shows Bowser's fury with his fist up.
That's pretty
funny.
That is pretty funny.
That's a pretty good one.
That's a good one.
That was the lamest moment in the entire fucking show's history.
Well, hey, you had to cut me off, and that was really important to add, so thank you.
Actually, let's run it back
Only
for a
when
second.
I cut you off, it's a problem.
No.
You can say
that's not what I'm
fuck
saying. Let's run it back for a second. I actually started saying that, and then you cut me off, and then I cut you off to finish saying it.
Did you know Gary Busey was a judge on a pet show once?
No.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
No, it's
all
actually
those judge shows
makes perfect sense
Isn't
to
that
me.
fucking insane?
No, I answered you the first time. I think that makes perfect sense to me that Gary Busey that they like, let's have a show about judges for animal control, and then they said, who should we get to host? And they're like, well, we could probably get Gary Busey to do it.
Now here's the problem with that fact I just spewed. I've definitely seen it, but I have no idea if it was an actual show or if it's a bit in a TV show we watched, and Gary Busey's guest starring in that show, and that's his little stupid cameo. Now I have no idea if this is reality or if it's just a joke I saw.
That's interesting. When you were saying that it was a show, I never heard of it. Now you're saying it happens in a fictional show. Now it sounds like something I've definitely seen before.
That's my point. When I said it, I thought it was real. When you start describing the reality of this world where Gary Busey is in fact the judge of this pet show, then I was like, that doesn't make any sense. No, wait a second. I have seen this though. It's fictional though. I think a fictional show did it.
That's tough. That's rough.
Bye, Chiquita.